Welcome into the Cowboys Report. Some breaking news today on Monday. The Cowboys have signed a wide receiver. It's not Odell Beckham. TY Hilton, the longtime Colts receiver, has signed with the Dallas Cowboys. That move has been officially announced by the organization after weeks and, frankly, months of Odell Beckham this, Odell Beckham that. The Cowboys have pivoted, probably in part because Odell Beckham couldn't do a physical, or couldn't play right now, I should say, and they've instead signed T.Y. Hilton. This went from the Cowboys are maybe going to look at T.Y. Hilton. Jane Slater mentioned that earlier today, to they've officially signed him. It was like really more of a 5-hour window. We first heard about it, to it's now a done deal. The Cowboys are hoping that T.Y. Hilton, even though he is 33 years old now, can help them at least a little bit down the stretch. You don't need 40 to 50 snaps from T.Y. Hilton. You need 15 to 20 and maybe help your outside speed where you don't really have. Gallup's not quite 100% still. He hasn't been the same guy with the chemistry Dak on those deep downfield plays. The one thing you're really missing from your offense, as overall good as it's been, is the big play speed threat. And I don't know if T.Y. Hilton is, at age 33, really going to provide that for you at this point. I'm not sure that Hilton, and I know he's not the same guy he was in his prime. The numbers bear that out. But if you can get a little bit of a contribution, that's what you were aiming for when you had all the interest in Odell Beckham as well. So Lamb and Gallup are still going to be your top two receivers. You might see some semblance of a rotation with James Washington, Noah Brown, T.Y. Hilton. Tolbert there is then in the end not going to really make any impact for you. Also, not that he made an impact so far anyway. I'd also say keep an eye out for this, and we'll go more in depth on T.Y. in a minute. Visited and I think worked out today too for the Cowboys, which, hey, Odell Beckham wouldn't do it. T.Y. did. He's older. It's not the same prime T.Y., but I will give the Cowboys credit for trying to do something at the wide receiver spot, which they needed some help there pretty clearly. So grade the T.Y. Hilton signing by the Dallas Cowboys. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section. It's the pinned comment, by the way, on today's show. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, type in A, B, C, D, or F. Some more thoughts on T.Y., then we'll get into what it means for Odell Beckham. The Cowboys clearly were in the market for wide receiver help. They had tried to make Dennis Houston a thing. He's still on your practice squad, by the way. They had tried to make a Brandon Cooks trade happen. They had tried to sign Odell Beckham, but the medical didn't really go the way they were hoping it was going to go in the end. Now, T.Y. Hilton is not who he was in his prime. This is not leading the league in receiving yards, T.Y. Hilton. But if you can get him for 15, 20-ish snaps per game, somewhere in that range, and he makes one or two big, ideally downfield plays for you, that's a good thing for the Cowboys, and I appreciate them trying to get help. My expectations are not going to be the wide receiver room is now the best in the NFL or top 5 like it was last year. It's not really the case, but I appreciate them looking to add talent, and T.Y. Hilton, of course, is a fairly big name, and the hope is that he can contribute for you in 2022, which that's not what was going to happen for Odell Beckham. Now, Jerry Jones was asked yesterday, the team was out on OBJ. He said, no, not at all. Put a big exclamation on that. I kind of think they're out on Odell Beckham now. I don't really foresee a move in which the Cowboys add Beckham at this point. Now, maybe they keep the door open for next year, but you sign the veteran in T.Y. Hilton. Unlike the Antonio Callaway practice squad move, this one I think has a much bigger impact on OBJ's interest, both from the Cowboys and interest in himself there. I think with T.Y. on, you got the veteran receiver you were looking for. You don't need to go get Odell Beckham, who's not going to help you to the playoffs, best case. Anyway, if there's another injury, maybe things change, but that's where we're at. So will T.Y. Hilton make an impact this year? Type in I for there's going to be an impact, or NI for no impact. Let me know in the comments section. Now, today's Cowboys Report is brought to you by Fetch. Fetch is super easy to use, and a free app lets you earn rewards on literally anything you buy. Scan any physical receipt or e-receipt, and you will earn points for your purchases. And the process takes only seconds. You don't have to worry about where the receipt is from or what it's on. Let me show you how simple it is. As you can see on this nice little fancy video here. All you do is open up the Fetch app, press the orange camera button, and snap a photo of your receipt. Hit submit. You'll see the confetti pop, showing that you've earned some reward points. It's that simple. You can also click the e-receipt function to get rewarded for your Amazon purchases or other online shopping by syncing your email account. You can then redeem those points for gift cards at Amazon, Starbucks, or any of the hundreds of retailers and restaurants that are available. Fetch is available on iPhone and Android. Use our link, chatsports.com/fetch, and enter promo code CHAT, C-H-A-T, at sign up when you scan your first receipt to get 5,000 bonus points. That's the equivalent, by the way, of a free $5 gift card to get started. It's a free app, but the 5,000 bonus points is only available for a limited time. So get started right now. Chatsports.com/fetch. Enter promo code CHAT. Links in the comment section and the description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/fetch. All right, we were going to mention to it on the back end of today's injury-focused show, but shuffle things around. We go with TY with the signing to start. Now some injury news and notes. 4 players we'll focus on here: Dorance Armstrong, Johnathan Hankins, Terence Steele, and Jake Ferguson. Not all of them good news here. Dorance Armstrong, this one kind of snuck under the radar because it was the final defensive play of the game, suffered an ankle sprain on the Hail Mary play against the Texans. Initial reports are that is thought to be a low ankle sprain, which is, of course, much better than a high ankle sprain. But we'll have to see and wait on that standpoint. Armstrong's numbers this year are awesome. 7 TFLs, 8 sacks. He's kind of had a surprise breakout year, way better than any year he's had before. He's benefited from playing alongside Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, but that does not diminish the impact that Armstrong has had for you. If Armstrong misses time with that ankle sprain, probably means more Dante Fowler, means more Sam Williams, and Chauncey Golston, who was inactive last week, or I should say this past Sunday, for the Dallas Cowboys, could probably be active then again. So low ankle sprain is the thought as of filming right now, but we'll have to see from that standpoint as things relate to Dorance Armstrong. More injury notes coming, but what is your overall panic level for the Cowboys injuries right now? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Sound off in the comments right now. Let's talk Johnathan Hankins as he suffered a sprained, pectoral muscle. The fear is this is a significant injury for Hankins, so IR stint might be possible. I'm not sure how much time he ends up missing. Not a lot of full details, and that may be a pretty significant loss for the Cowboys. Hankins, the trade deadline acquisition, or week before the trade deadline addition, has been a really good run stopper for the Cowboys. The bright side is I thought Quinton Bohanna had maybe his best game yet as just a pure run stopper. Houston ran it a ton, and they had nothing going on outside of the quarterback keeper plays. Like a couple of nice runs for Dameon Pierce, but when you're averaging like 3 yards per carry, that's kind of all it is from that standpoint. That's fine with me in the end. So hopefully Hankins does not miss that much time. I guess he's out this week. Dorance Armstrong, I'd say chance to play. And we know for a fact, unfortunately, that Terence Steele is done for the year. Torn ACL and MCL suffered against the Houston Texans. He got pushed back into Dak, and then Tyler Smith's guy got rolled up into him. I think Smith kind of threw him there. He will miss the rest of the season, and it's a brutal blow for the Cowboys. There had been a bad game against the Bucs with 4 penalties, and he had 2 the rest of the way. That was it for the Cowboys, penalty-wise, for Terence Steele. 1 sack allowed, not that many hurries or hits. He'd been a great run blocker this year. Your best runs had often come behind the Zach Martin-Terence Steele combo, and now you're not going to have Terence Steele for the remainder of the year, which is brutal, because you're not going to have your starting 5 linemen out there for a singular snap this year. Terence Steele is out for the year, just as Tyron Smith is set to make his return to the Dallas Cowboys. The plan, we'll see how this week of practice goes, of course, so it's not set in stone. The plan, though, appears to be Tyron Smith back out there at left tackle for the Cowboys. Then you would shift Tyler Smith over to left guard, and as we'll get into more in depth later, either Jason Peters or Josh Ball in there at right tackle, which is, a whole nother conversation. We will do an in-depth Terence Steele replacements video Tuesday on demand, and barring more breaking news, I suppose, and later on as part of today's live show. If you watched it live, congrats. It means you guys are subscribed. You're not missing out on any of the videos, content we have for you guys here at the Cowboys Report. Make sure you're subbed if you're not already. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Let's talk Jake Ferguson. He suffered a concussion against Texans. I actually didn't see the play happen live, so not sure what happened, but he did not return. His status then unclear for this upcoming game. Ferguson's hurt. That leaves Hendershot, Sean McEwen. It means you're probably not going to run your same volume in the event of the tight end packages you could with the 4-man. You might go with the 3-man, but you'll be okay there. It's a concussion. Should be okay. Other topics I went in today include Kelvin Joseph. Just his overall play, right? He got the start at corner against the Houston Texans, and I would describe it as mixed results. The final stat line per PFF, I think these are all correct, by the way, targeted 5 times, allowed 4 catches, 69 yards. It's actually not that nice for a defensive player. No touchdowns, 1 PBU. Now, the PBU was a great one, and the big catch was a 36-yard gain that he had that I still think was a drop. I mean, that ball moves and hits the field, so I'm not really convinced that one should have gone down as a catch. But at the same time, you're still in a situation where, let me put it to you this way. If this was an Anthony Brown stat line, and Anthony Brown played like that, I think you guys would be really mad at him. Now, different expectations, first start, or second start, I guess, for one last year. I get it. But do you trust Kelvin Joseph against cornerback 2 when you're only going to play better receivers the rest of the way? Y for yes, N for no in the comments section. Of course, can't go without having Dak Prescott talk right after a game. Another game with multiple INTs. And we can go back and forth as to who the INT's faults are. The first one was technically a double tip drill, but it's kind of a tight window throw, so I kind of blame Dak for that one. The second one, unquestionably, is, hey, your right tackle can't get bull rushed and have the defender's arm hit Dak as he's throwing it. Like, that led to the interception. So the issue is 9 interceptions, but your offense has a lot of good points. Here are 5 things I think are true right now with this Cowboys offense and your franchise quarterback, both from the game and overall. I think we all feel better about that Cowboys performance and Dak Prescott if you didn't have 2 touchdown drops. That 98-yard drive, I have the stats in front of me. Dak Prescott went 6 of 7 for 79 yards. The incompletion was the drop touchdown pass by Gout. Big hit, of course. 2 carries for 15 yards. He racked up 94 of your 98 yards to get the game-winning TD. Without that drive, we're in shambles mode right now. It's also totally fair to want and expect more. This is Dak Prescott. This is your franchise guy. This is not Cooper Rush or Mike White. You're just trying to survive. You're trying to thrive with him. You can't have so many INTs. And it's not just some bad luck. If it happens almost every week, probably more than just, shucks, some bad luck, which sure there's been some, but when it's consistent, it's not just a fluke. Despite all of those issues, your offense is top 3. However you want to sort it, even in a bad game, right? They dropped 27 points. The quarterback is top 10, however you want to slice it. So there's definitely room for more, and you got to play better against better competition. Don't get me wrong there. Come playoff time, in the end, we don't care about the regular season stuff because we know they're good there. It's about, can you win a damn playoff game and or multiple for once? We'll see. They got to play better against the better teams come playoff time, because right now you're on pace to go play the Bucs. Play that against Houston, you're not going to get a win. Now, if you have not already, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. My DMs are open. Any questions you have, feel free to slide in, whether it's on Dak, TY Hilton, Kelvin Joseph, the O-line, you name it. Hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney.